Parashara caught a falling leaf in the autumn air. Maitreya, for you this leaf fell in a second, but for the atoms within, an eternity has passed. Thus began the mapping of the Vedic clock, from the blink of an eye to the trillions of years of a Kalpa. Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. It is absolutely brilliant to have you with us today.
It is, yeah.
We are cracking open the second Amsha of the Vishnu Purana, and I have to say right off the bat, if you think you know time, if you think it's just the ticking seconds on your wristwatch,
Or the calendar alerts on your phone.
exactly,
Yeah.
you are in for a massive recalibration. We aren't just looking at how to measure a work week here. We are trying to find the pulse of the cosmos.
It is a staggering image to start with, isn't it? That falling leaf.
It is.
It immediately sets the stage for the idea that time isn't a rigid container that we are all trapped in, but, a fluid experience.
Exactly. It feels like relativity, but written thousands of years before Einstein was even a thought.
Precisely. And what we are tasked with today is unpacking the mathematical precision found in these ancient texts.
Yeah.
Because that is the real surprise here. It's not just vague poetry or abstract philosophy about eternity. It is a rigorous sort of logarithmic scale that attempts to quantify everything from the microscopic, literally the atomic level, to the majestic lifespans of the gods.
So let's set the scene properly before we get lost in the heavy math.
A good idea.
We start with a story. We have Maitreya, the student, and he's standing there looking at the land of Vartavarsha, India. And he's he's completely baffled.
He is. He's struck by a contradiction that I think many of us feel when we look up at the night sky. He sees human beings living these relatively short, fragile lives, back then perhaps 100 years if they were lucky.
Sure.
But he knows the devas, the celestial beings, live for yugas, for entire ages.
Right. It's that existential crisis of why are we so temporary? He essentially asks Parashara, how on earth do we measure that difference? What is the ruler we use to compare a human to a god?
And Parashara, being the sage that he is, doesn't just give him a single number. He doesn't say, oh, they live a long time. He starts small, unbelievably small. He builds a system from the ground up.
He starts with the blink of an eye.
Even smaller, actually. The text calls this the Nimesha.
Nimesha.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the fundamental unit of the microscale. It's often translated as a blink, but in the strict definition, it's the time it takes for an eyelid to flicker. It is fleeting.
A Nimesha. Okay,
Right.
so that's our baseline. The smallest tick on the cosmic clock. But he doesn't stay there. He built a ladder. Walk us through this, because the math gets surprisingly specific.
It's a multiplier effect. Parashara explains that if you take 15 of these blinks, these nimeshas, you get one kashta.
Kashta.
That's it.
15 blinks is a kashta.
Right. I'm trying to visualize that. That's maybe, a few seconds?
Roughly, yes.
Yeah.
It's a small cluster of moments. Then if you gather 30 kashtas, you arrive at one kala.
Kala. Okay, 30 kashtas. We're moving up the chain now.
And 30 kalas make one muhurta. Now stop me if muhurta sounds familiar. Muhurta. It does, actually. I feel like I've heard that in the context of weddings or ceremonies. We need to find the auspicious muhurta.
Exactly. That is where the term survives in modern usage.
Right.
In the calculation we are looking at today, a muhurta is roughly 48 minutes. It's a standard hour in the Vedic sense.
So muhurta is basically a Vedic hour. And then
Finally, 30 muhurtas make up one full human day and night.
I love the elegance of that. It doesn't just say, here's a day. It constructs the day.
It does.
It says a day is built out of thousands of fleeting moments. It builds from the Nimesha, the blink, all the way to the sun rising and setting. It really makes you feel the texture of time.
It does, and it establishes a crucial baseline. This is human time. This is how we, as biological entities, experience the flow of reality.
Right.
And here's where the text essentially pulls the rug out from under us. This is just the bottom rung of the ladder.
Right, because this is where we get into time dilation. And I use that term advisedly because the text explicitly suggests that time flows differently depending on who you are.
It is relativity in a very literal sense. The text shifts gears from human time to divine time.
Okay.
The formula given is incredibly specific. One human year is equal to just one day and night for the devas.
Just pause on that for a second. Let's make sure we really get this. One entire year for us. Birthdays, holidays, 4 seasons, 365 days of work, stress, sleep, taxes. All of that is just a single day for a diva.
Yes. The sun moving north, the Uttarayana is their day, and the sun moving south, the Dakshinayana, is their night.
Wow.
So their perception of flow is radically slower, or rather more expanded than ours. Imagine watching a time-lapse video of a flower blooming.
Yeah,
That's how they see our year. It flashes by.
that is humbling. It makes our daily struggles seem a bit quick. Scary. So if that's their day, how on earth do they measure a year? The numbers must get huge.
They do. This is where the numbers start to become astronomical. The text introduces the Chatur Yuga.
Chatur Yuga. Chatur means four, right?
Correct. It's the cycle of the four ages we often hear about. Krita, Treta, Dvapara, and Kali.
Of course.
Together, these four ages make one Chatur Yuga. And one of these cycles consists of 12,000 divine years.
12,000 Diva years. But remember, one Diva year is 360 human years. So we need to do some multiplication here.
I've got you covered on the math.
Good.
If you convert 12,000 divine years back into human time, you get 4.32 million human years.
4.32 million years.
Yeah.
For one cycle.
Just one cycle, one Chatur Yuga.
That is hard to wrap your head around. I mean, modern humans, Homo sapiens, have only been around for, 200,000 or 300,000 years?
That's right.
So a single Chatur Yuga is 10 or 20 times longer than the entire history of our species.
Exactly. It puts ancient history into a very different perspective.
I'll say.
In the Vedic timeline, human history as we know it is just a blip within the Kali Yuga, which is the shortest of the four ages. But here is the kicker. Even a Chatur Yuga isn't the biggest unit. We are just getting started.
You're joking. 4 million years is just getting started.
We are merely at the level of epochs. Now we move to the level of eras. The text introduces the Manvantara.
Manvantara. That sounds like it has the word Manu in it.
It does. It literally means the interval of Manu.
Mm-hmm.
Mathematically, one Manvantara is equal to 71 Chatur Yugas.
So 71 of those 4 million year cycles.
Yes, roughly 306 million human years.
Wow.
And what's fascinating here isn't just the math, but the bureaucracy.
The bureaucracy, what do you mean?
The Vishnu Purana details that with every Manvantara, the entire cosmic administration changes. It's like a term limit for the gods.
Like a government reshuffle.
Precisely. You get a new Manu, who is the progenitor of humanity. You get a new set of Saptarishis, the seven sages.
Okay.
And this is the part I find most fascinating. You get a new Indra.
Wait, Indra? The king of the gods. I thought Indra was a specific person, like Zeus.
That's a common misconception. In this framework, Indra isn't a name, it's a title.
A title.
It's a position, like president or prime minister, and the term limit is one Manvantara.
That changes everything. So even the gods, or at least the positions they hold, are subject to time. They aren't eternal. They are temporary office holders.
Exactly. It illustrates the law of nature, constant change. Nothing in the material universe, not even the position of the King of Heavens, is static. It all turns on the wheel of time.
So when the Manvantara ends,
the administration steps down and a new one takes over.
It's weirdly comforting to know that even the gods have performance reviews or term limits.
It is, isn't it?
Okay, so let's recap the ladder so far. We've gone from a blink, Nimesha, to a day, to a year, to a Chatur Yuga.
4 million years.
Till Manvantara, which is 300 million years. Surely we must be hitting the ceiling soon.
Not even close. We are now approaching the cosmic scale, the scale of the Creator himself. We are entering the realm of the Kalpa.
Kalpa. The Kalpa. I've heard this word used loosely to describe an eternity. It's been a Kalpa since I saw you.
It essentially is an eternity for us. A Kalpa is equal to 1,000 Chatur Yugas.
1,000 Chatur, so that's 4.32 billion years.
Spot on. And this duration, 4.32 billion years, constitutes just one single day of Brahma.
One day. 12 hours of daylight.
Correct. So in a single day of Brahma's life, 14 Manvantaras, 14 distinct eras of humanity and gods, 14 different Indras rise and fall.
They come and go like clouds passing in an afternoon. 14 administrative changes, 14 resets of the world order, all within 12 hours of Brahma's time.
And here is the darker, or perhaps just the more cyclical part of the math. At the end of the Kalpa, the day ends, Brahma's night begins.
Uh-oh.
And when Brahma sleeps, creation dissolves.
Dissolves, like destroyed.
It enters a state of dormancy. The text says the universe withdrawn. It's a cosmic reset button. Brahma sleeps for a night of equal length, another 4.32 billion years, and then
he wakes up.
a new Kalpa begins.
Hey.
Creation starts again.
It's terrifyingly vast. But tell me, does Brahma live forever? Or is he on the clock too?
He is.
Because if Indra has a term limit, does the creator have a lifespan?
Even the Creator is on the clock. This is perhaps the most mind-bending part of the second Amsha. Brahma lives for 100 of his own years.
Calculated by these Kalpa days.
Calculated by Kalpa days. This ultimate limit is called the Pararda.
The Pararda.
It represents the lifespan of the universe itself. If you do the maths, converting back to human years, it comes out to roughly 311 trillion years.
311 trillion. That is a number that is almost impossible to hold in your head. It's just static.
It is. But here is where it gets really interesting. The Purana doesn't just give us the total. It tells us the current time.
No way.
It gives us a timestamp for where we are right now.
Where are we on Brahma's watch? Are we early? Late?
According to the text, we are currently in the first Kalpa of the second half of Brahma's life.
The second half.
We are in the second Pararda. We are essentially middle-aged, cosmically speaking.
That is fascinating. You mentioned earlier that this isn't just mythology. When you look at modern astronomy, the age of the universe.
The parallels are striking, aren't they? Modern science estimates the age of the Earth at around 4.5 billion years, which is eerily close to one Kalpa, one day of Brahma.
It is, yeah.
And when we talk about the lifespan of stellar matter or the heat death of the universe, we start talking in trillions.
So the fact that an ancient text, using a story about a falling leaf and a sage, arrived at a scale of billions and trillions of years, rather than, say, a few thousand like some other traditions, is significant.
It's a testament to a profound understanding of the scale of reality. They weren't afraid of deep time. They embraced it.
They really did.
They understood that the universe was old and vast beyond comprehension.
So what does this all mean? I mean, we've got this logarithmic scale, we've got administrative turnovers, we've got term limits for gods.
Mm-hmm.
If we step back, what is the philosophy hiding inside the math?
Well, I think the first thing that stands out is what we touched on earlier, relativity.
Right.
This was written thousands of years before Einstein, but the intuition is there.
The idea that time isn't constant.
The Purana articulates clearly that a moment for Brahma is eons for humans. It suggests that time is not an absolute background for the universe, but a relative experience depending on the observer. If you are an atom, a second is forever. If you are Brahma, a civilization is a blink.
It really challenges the way we view history, doesn't it? In the West, specifically in modern times, we view time as a straight line.
An arrow.
An arrow. We go from the past to the present to the future, and we never go back.
Precisely. Linear time. We think of progress. We think we are moving towards a destination. But the Vedic view, as described by Parashara, is cyclical. Time is a wheel.
The chakra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tartar Yugos repeat. The Manvantaras repeat. The Kalpas repeat.
So history repeats.
It implies that history is not a march toward a singular end, but a rhythm. A song that plays over and over, perhaps with different variations, but the same melody.
It implies that we have been here before and we will be here again. It takes the pressure off the end of the world, doesn't it?
It does.
Because the end is just the prelude to the beginning.
It is. Which leads me to the other big theme I felt reading this, the ego check.
Oh, absolutely. I felt that viscerally.
When you look at a scale of 311 trillion years, a human life of 80 or 90 years isn't even a rounding error. It is a dot.
It sounds depressing, though, doesn't it? You are dust, you are nothing. It can feel a bit nihilistic.
I don't think it's meant to be depressing. I think it is meant to teach humility.
Right.
It's the insignificance of ego. When you realize how small you are, you stop trying to control the universe and start trying to harmonize with it. You realize you are part of a much larger process.
You are a verse in a very long poem.
That's a beautiful way to put it. We aren't the main characters of the movie. We are part of the scenery, but the scenery is beautiful.
And actually, that connects directly to something I wanted to bring up. We call this the mirror moment of the deep dive.
Go on.
Well, I'm looking at this cosmic clock, this immense patience of nature, where a day lasts 4 billion years. And then I look at my own life. I look at the world around us. We are obsessed with instant gratification.
The culture of now.
Exactly. Think about it. If the Wi-Fi is slow for 10 seconds, we get angry. If we're 5 minutes late for a meeting, our cortisol spikes and we feel like the world is ending.
Burnout.
We want success instantly. We want fitness instantly. And when we don't get it, we burn out.
We do. We are running a sprint, but the universe is running a marathon that lasts trillions of years.
That's it. We are trying to force our tiny, frantic timeline onto a universe that operates on Kalpas.
It creates friction. Burnout, in many ways, comes from viewing time through the wrong lens.
That's interesting.
We think we are running out of time, but the Purana says time is infinite. It says nature is patient.
So the solution to burnout isn't better time management acts, it's perspective.
It's adopting nature's patience.
Mm.
The universe operates with a patience spanning billions of years to create a star, to form a planet. It doesn't rush the oak tree.
Mm.
Your current setbacks, the things stressing you out today, on the cosmic clock, they lasted less than 1/100th of a second.
They're less than a Nimesha. They're a fraction of a blink.
Much less. If the cosmos can be patient, perhaps you can be too. Your efforts will bear fruit, but in their own time. You cannot force the harvest.
That is a thought to hold on to.
Okay?
Your efforts will bear fruit, but in their own time. It's permission to breeze, isn't it?
It is. It's permission to step off the treadmill for a moment and realize the ground isn't moving.
So we have traveled quite a distance today. We started with a falling leaf and a blink of an eye, the Nimesha. We climbed the ladder through the Muhurta to the human day.
We dilated time into the Chatur Yugas and the Manvantaras, seeing the gods themselves change guard, realizing that even Indra is just a job title.
And we zoomed out to the ultimate limit, the Parardo, the life of Brahma, where we sit right now in the middle of a trillion-year story, trying to find our place in the cycle.
It is a reminder that we are part of a grand, rhythmic, and incredibly precise cosmic dance.
But, and here's the teaser for you. We've talked about measuring time, but this whole cycle depends on something very physical. It depends on the path of the sun.
That is true. The clock needs a hand to turn it. All these calculations, the days of the divas, the muhurtas, they are anchored in the movement of the sun.
In the next deep dive, we are going to look up. We are going to explore the secrets of the sun chariot and the starry realms.
Ooh.
We're talking ancient astronomy, the movement of the constellations, and how the sun drives this wheel of time.
That is going to be a brilliant discussion. It's the mechanics behind the math. We'll see how they map the sky to create the calendar.
I can't wait. Listen, if this science of time sparked a sense of wonder in you today, if it made you feel a little smaller, but maybe a little more connected, please like, follow, and subscribe.
And share this with friends who perhaps need to be reminded of the value of time. Or maybe just friends who are always late.
Exactly. Tell them they're just operating on diva time. Thank you so much for listening.
Goodbye for now.
Cheers.